Hey gang, welcome to episode 13 of the Witch Awakening podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Rippey, a spiritual and awakening coach for witchy women who want to heal old wounds, tap into their desires, and manifest their most magical life. Okay, so today I want to talk about the wounds we hold. Oh, such a big topic, isn't it? So recently I was doing some timeline work and some deep meditation and journey work. And I found a wound and a limiting belief from when I was in the womb. Yes, even back then and before in past lives, we can pick up and carry limiting beliefs. So here's what happened. I was doing some timeline work, as I said, and looking for the root of when I started believing a fear that I had found around worthiness. The assignment was to go back to where we first picked up that fear. And I kept going back, and I ended up in the womb. And my eyes were like bugging out, like, what? In the womb, huh? So here's what I found. A little backstory. I had an older brother that died as an infant. So when my mom was pregnant with me, she obviously had a lot of fear and woundedness around that, and unhealed trauma of like losing him so suddenly and so young. So turns out I had absorbed some of that and took it on as my own. I was carrying the fear of, will this baby live, and the trauma associated with that. I also found that I have put a limiting belief on myself in the womb based on this situation, that I would not live up to the expectation to fill my brother's shoes, that I was somehow second rate because he was first, and that I could never be good enough to fulfill like this obligation of being as good as or better than a baby who had lived a week, right? Like someone that haven't even had the opportunity to get past his first week of life, right? I took that responsibility on myself of, well, I'm never going to be good enough, right? It sounds silly to say, but we do this all the time. We carry this stuff with us that we either consciously or unconsciously put on ourselves at different parts in our life. So back to my limiting belief. As you can see, this limiting belief and fear that I carried deep in my unconscious mind, it affected my everyday and like my whole life. I was playing out patterns to prove this to be true, right? So especially around my money story, that I wasn't worthy of a lot of money because I wasn't the first choice, or that I was somehow less than everyone else. They all stemmed from this thing that I had taken on while it was in the womb. All right, so obviously this was something I needed to restructure and release so I could change that pattern and belief. I did some work with that, and I'm still working with it, and we're almost there. We're almost there for supporting and releasing this fully. But healing takes time, so we need to just keep working and working until we get there and we get to the place where we can fully embody our healing and our worthiness, right? So, we can pick up wounds, limiting beliefs, and traumas from any time, any place, and any person in our lives. They greatly affect the way that we live our day-to-day lives and the way that we navigate through the world and interact with it. Almost all people who identify as witches have a witchy wound, or 2 or 3 or 100 or million, depending on, how many lifetimes we've lived as a witch and in what time we've lived as a witch, and how much of a martyr we decided to be for the witch community back, especially in the day of the witchy trials and the witch hunts and all the things, right? Let's be honest, there's been some really shady lifetimes a lot of us have lived back then. So one of the first things I do with my new people is to help them find these wounds, the root of where they came from, right? And to help heal and release them so they can fully embody their inner witch and their true self. It is so important for us to embrace the healing and not to ignore it. Sure, healing is uncomfortable. Okay, healing is never a fun process, whether it's physical, mental, or on an energetic level. You know, sometimes we have to embrace the suck. We have to do what needs to be done, go through it to heal it, and then be free of it finally. And it is so worth it, right? So I invite you to really sit with that today and see if there is some limiting belief that you have taken on somewhere, or a wound that you took on that is holding you back and affecting you in other areas of your life. I can guarantee you'll find at least one. Most of us have way more than one, okay? So sit with that, do some journaling, see what comes up. That's what I have for you today. Go over to Instagram, tag me in your stories with your favorite takeaway from this episode. My handle over there is Melissa_Rippey. I will have the link in the show notes. I love to hear what your favorite parts are, or you can shoot me an email and let me know, or pop on over to Facebook in the Witch Awakening Facebook group and let me know over there. Now, if you are ready to dive into healing and moving through your own inner stuff, I am ready to help you. I have a new one-to-one coaching and healing option to work with me. I believe that healing takes time. It's not a one and done, wham bam, thank you ma'am situation. So I have a 3-month package right now to do weekly calls with me. You get a fully personalized plan to get you to the healing that you're seeking. And I will use all of my tools like NLP, hypnosis, EFT, that's tapping, Reiki, life and success coaching, my intuition, mediumship abilities, and all the things to get you to where you want and need to be to start living your most magical life. So if that is feeling like a fuck yes for you in your body, and you're really feeling drawn to work with me one-on-one to dig in and start healing all this stuff, and you have some questions, or if you just want to see if it's a good fit for you, please reach out to me either on Instagram, links in the show notes, or you can always email me and we will definitely get it sorted out. We can hop on a call and see if you might be a good fit for this container and for us to work together. I like to feel people's vibe and like get in the vibe, and you can feel my vibe live and really see if we might do some magic together. So hit me up. Let's see what's happening. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Be sure to subscribe so you can get notified when new podcasts are uploaded, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. That lets them know that you love it, and it gives us a little boost so that others can find us. Stay magical, and I will talk to you soon.